tayo po ay nagbabalik dito sa Usapang Bayan at kasama pa rin natin ang ating mga kaibigan na si Vic Lee at saka si Pisha Banaag. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the kind of executives you have in your current database.
Since we only cater to the top 4 levels in the organizations, no, we have a host of senior managers and executives from various industries and various functional areas. So we can look at them as having shortlisted candidates in our talent pool readily available for our preferred employers to go through.
Well, talking about the functional areas or the industries, where would you say are most of your concentration of these talents in? What kind of industries are they in, or what are the functional jobs that they're into?
You know, at the moment, well, the largest membership type that we have would be mostly in the financial services industry, manufacturing industry, as well as the shared services industry. That's the industry mix that we have at the moment. Now, in terms of functional area, many of our individual members represent people from general management, from operations, sales, as well as finance and accounting.
Just so that I can understand it a little better, from the traditional career search or executive search firms who typically get a commission based on the salaries of the candidate that they are able to place. In this case, that doesn't happen, right?
It doesn't happen. We only charge 2 ways. One is the subscription fee, and the other one is what we call the profile access fee, which is when you convert a blind profile into a full profile.
Okay, so it does have a cost advantage in that regard.
Definitely, definitely. In executive search, you're correct, George. No, typically they would charge you a percentage, and the average would be about 20%
Wow.
of the annual compensation of the person. So, for example, you have an executive, let's say, drawing a 5 million salary. So 20% of that is 1 million. No? In the case of Twogie, we charge a subscription fee much lower than 1 million. And then let's say, for example, you open up 5 blind profiles, which would cost you about 20-some thousand. So add that to the subscription fee, it will still be much lower than the 1 million. The good thing about it is, if you subscribe for a year, no, and then you have another requirement, let's say we have an IT executive worth, let's say, 3 million. So you will still pay 600,000 to an executive search. But in the case of Twogie, since subscription fee is a one-time thing, you will only be charged with opening up a blind profile. So we're just talking about the 20+ thousand that would entail.
Ang laki ng difference.
Ang laki ng difference, yes. So cost really is something that employer should consider.
And in fact, the more positions or the more candidates you actually place with 2G, the higher the return on your initial investment that you will get.
How does 2G, ma'am, contribute to a faster turnaround time?
Earlier, Ms. Lee mentioned that the kind of candidates that we have on the platform are similar to the process talents that executive search firms would normally endorse to their clients. So if we actually tap a candidate from 2G, that means you are reducing about 2 to 4 weeks worth of processing time, because that's normally the amount of time an executive search firm will take to shortlist some candidates. So that's the first one. And secondly, because the full information of candidates will only be given to employers with their consent, that means when an employer sources a candidate from 2G, they are working with candidates who have expressed their direct interest in an opportunity, and that reduces the likelihood of an unsuccessful placement due to the candidate not being interested in the position. Hence, you don't waste time in terms of processing this candidate.
Since this is already our last leg, ma'am, can you tell in summary why should you join or an individual join 2G?
As a member, it would be nice to join 2G at this point. It's because you will have that prestige of being in the exclusive group And at the same time, you will be in the radar screen of preferred and top employers. No? On the other hand, as an employer, you can consider Twogie as an alternative source for you to tap senior level talents, because it will be so much faster. At the same time, you would have an exclusive pool of pre-processed senior level talents. And of course, as mentioned, the cost is significantly lower.
Yes.
Talking about the costs and the availability of the database, no? Are you open to being to having subscribers that are other executive search firms?
We haven't really thought
Discussed
about
that, yeah.
that too much, no? But we will consider it. We'll just have to look at the different ways on how executive search would use a channel like Twogie.
Because certainly somebody like them who have a high volume usage would certainly be worth it for them
That is true.
to be a subscriber. You call them subscribers? Okay. To be a subscriber, because they don't need to maintain their own database. They can just look at your
That is
database or
true.
augment their database with yours.
The only thing is 2G was designed actually to have an end user in mind. No? That's the employer.
In
But
the
in the
intermediary.
in the case of an executive search, they are actually representing a company. So we'll have to take a look at that.
Okay.
What can these top talents and employers expect from you in the coming years? What can you promise?
Okay, in the coming years, actually in the very immediate future, in the next couple of months, actually, we see an exciting times for 2G. As mentioned by Pisha, we've seen an upswing in membership. We have people from other countries actually signing up on their own voluntarily without having us invite them. And then in the coming weeks, we will go full blast, full operation, and we will be aggressively inviting top employers to be members of 2G, as preferred employers. As also mentioned earlier, immediate future, we see a penetration in the ASEAN market. So hopefully, well, initially it will be Metro Manila first, and then we will expand it to the other regions in the Philippines. So we cover nationwide, and then we go.
How do you handle situations wherein there is a conglomerate or a group of companies and they just have one of their companies be the member and everybody shares the database?
We actually can package something for conglomerates, a holding company and then several subsidiaries. No, we can package something for them.
So it's just that they could take advantage of it by just enrolling one company and then, using that company to look for everybody else, di ba? Oo. So anyway, at this point, you're not yet, so you're willing to let that pass, I suppose, just to get the ball rolling?
Yes.
I see. How do you currently source your members into the database? I know that some of them, as you say, were targeted, but have they started coming in and, getting in touch with you through your website or something like that?
Yeah, yes, actually. Some of our walk-in applicants, no, they came in. The first wave of walk-in applicants came after our beta launch in November because we had some press coverage back then, and they would read the articles that were written about us and actually visit the websites on their own accord and sign up for a membership. And we actually recently processed a candidate who said that they heard our name on the radio, and it was a pleasant surprise because it wasn't there weren't any direct efforts or paid efforts. It just so happened that word about 2G had spread and we're being talked about. So, but at this point, we still primarily source our candidates by reaching out to them directly.
Ako, I have a question kasi this is something that I'm curious about. Do you follow up on your clients? Like, for example, if a top executive successfully lands a job at this very prestigious firm, do you follow up on them? Like, ask how they're doing or kung nakapasok na ba talaga sila doon?
We will in the future, Rach, when we do have those preferred employers already, when we were partnering with them, we would definitely check on our members also.
Well, we're at the tail end of our program. We have a few minutes left. Can I turn over the floor to you, Vic, so that you can send your message to those potential members and subscribers that you might want to say a few words?
Yes, thank you, George. No? For our members, individuals who are currently occupying senior managers and executive level positions, we invite you to join Twogie. This is the perfect time to be part of this exclusive group so that you'd be in the radar screen of top and preferred employers. Whether you are actively exploring at this point or you're just open to listen to opportunities, and in fact, even if it's just for a part-time consultancy and advisory role, 2G is a great vehicle for you to be part of. For the employers, we will be, sooner than later, we will be reaching out to you, and hopefully that you would consider 2G as an alternative source in your search and for tapping top talents for your organizations.
Well, we probably have time for one last question. Do you have any questions, Rach?
Ako, sir, I'm just curious about their social media
Okay.
accounts so that people can reach you.
We are on Facebook. Our handle is 2GPH. It's TWOGIEPH. We have the same handle on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also visit our LinkedIn company page via www.linkedin.com/company/2G.
And you have a website, right?
We do have a website, the most important, that is www.twogie.com.
Okay, sige, one last question. Do you have a guiding principle, ma'am? The company.
As a company, we value integrity and we value professionalism. And I think those two traits and two values are very important to our target audience.
And focus as well. In fact, our tagline summarizes it all: the right people, the right careers.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, very good. So, yan po ang isang makabuluhang diskusyon kasama sina 2G COO Vic Lee at Chief Marketing Officer Patricia Banaag.
Maaari niyo po kaming i-follow at i-like sa aming Facebook page, Usapang Bayan. Ako po si Rach Marquez.
At ako po si George Chua. Samahan niyo po kami muli sa susunod pa nating episodes dito sa Usapang Bayan.